Once you've had a fire on a major scale and once you've been evacuated, life is never the same. You're always a little bit on edge as soon as you see a fire.
Because of climate change, forest fires are going to increase significantly over the next few decades, both in frequency and severity. The evidence shows that there are significant mental health impacts on having your life disrupted by a fire when you need to evacuate.
When communities get evacuated and when people get separated, it's enormously stressful for everybody involved, and what is both the acute risks and the long-term risks.
In 2009, I was basically 6 or 7 months a mayor, new in this job, so to speak, and we had 2 forest fires, 10,000 or more people evacuated. That was pretty devastating for our community. I don't really look forward to summer in the way most people do. It's not a lot of fun being evacuated, but also worrying about your community.
We have had some prolonged evacuations where people had to stay in a community shelter. There are issues of staying in the same place with a group of people who you may or may not get along with, who you may or may not trust. Some of the psychological issues that come with that can be profound, I'm sure.
You need to think who is going to be doing the work and are we going to be layering stress upon stress upon stress on a small number of the same individuals.
Your forestry people, your municipal firefighters are exhausted. You've got planners, engineers, GIS people, communications people, volunteers.
You do have lots of frontline folks that are impacted, and of course it starts in the clinics and ERs.
The demand on social services is not simply an acute demand, it will continue to persist following that event. And presumably if you want to build resilience, you're going to have to build those services as well.
With the changes that we're going to see in the future, it's really important that we have a robust, responsive healthcare system.
How can we ensure that we can absorb some of these shocks so that people are not left destitute as a consequence?
The number one thing that a community can do is be ready. That means having community plans, that means having household plans, and having a plan for yourself.
We're going to have longer, drier, hotter summers, and we can minimize it, we can manage it, but I don't think we're going to put fires out of business.
I think it's a challenge that we can meet as Canadians. It means adapting our institutions to the reality of climate change, and it means adapting our own behavior to the reality of climate change.